From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story, 3 people have been arrested in connection with a murder last May outside a local bar. The investigation continues and more arrests are expected. Monty Bowen has the story.
Involves an arrest in Anchorage, an arrest in Texas, an arrest in Florida, and there's going to be more to come. And my detectives, we have 7, 6 have been working on this case nonstop.
John Kaverlik Jr. was shot to death last May in a parking lot outside the Rock and Rodeo nightclub on the Old Steese Highway. 26-year-old Joel Joseph, formerly of Anchorage, was arrested Tuesday in Texas on a warrant for first-degree murder. He had moved to Texas 2 days after the murder in Fairbanks. Joseph's brother, 34-year-old David Joseph, was arrested in Anchorage on charges of hindering prosecution. 25-year-old Demarius Henson was arrested Wednesday in Orlando, Florida, on a $500,000 warrant charging hindering prosecution. Police say he had fled the country after the murder and came back to the U.S. a month ago. A lot of man-hours have gone into the investigation.
We're probably upwards around 4,000 hours working on this case, traveling around the country, and we've been fortunate enough that there hasn't been a lot of major incidents in the city when this happened, which allowed us to focus on this case really primarily over the last few months.
City Mayor John Eberhardt says he went to John Kaverlik's funeral and made a promise then.
We said we're going to put every effort into it, every resource. It's taken terrific resources. And I want to praise the investigators. And
getting the suspects who are out of state extradited to Fairbanks will be handled by the DA's office.
That ball is in their court now. We're continuing to investigate the case on our end, and they'll take care of the legal proceedings from now.
Anyone with information about the case is still asked to contact Fairbanks Police. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
An unidentified man escaped serious injury despite being fired upon at close range. North Pole Police today arrested Justin Kavanaugh and Deborah Carroll in connection with the October 25th shooting in North Pole. At about 11:30 Sunday night, a 911 caller reported he had been shot while sitting in his vehicle at Santa's Fireworks on Hurst Road. The victim was transported to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital where he was treated and released the following day. According to police, the victim was lured to Santa's Fireworks to give Carroll a ride. At that point, Kavanaugh allegedly shot him in what is believed to have been a botched carjacking. As the court proceedings for the 4 men convicted of murdering a 15-year-old boy in 1997 continued today, the brother of the victim talked with us. Stephanie Woodard has the report.
The evidence hearing for the group of men known as the Fairbanks Four continues into almost 4 weeks now with more emotional testimony.
I just felt the pain again, you know what I mean, and the grief.
The petitioners in the case have long maintained they are not the ones responsible for the 1997 brutal beating death of Fairbanks teenager John Hartman. But it was Hartman's brother who was called to the stand, who says reliving his brother's death has been painful.
I heard my mom's cry, you know what I mean, and it was a particular sound to it that just broke my heart.
We've heard witness after witness testify of their recollections of the October night and the events that led up to Hartman's murder. But it's the family who says they rushed to Hartman's side to be with the young man.
See, the footprints. He had a big old footprint on the side of his head, and he was all busted up, and able to hold his hand and pray with him and stuff like that. And I knew he wasn't going to make it.
Kelly testified this morning about an alleged conversation he had while incarcerated with the 4 men.
I walked down the hall and I found Eugene Bent's room, and I kicked his door until he got up out of bed. Got up off of his bed and he came up to the door, and he recognized me or saw exactly who I was, and he said, "We didn't know it was your little brother."
He says he can't remember much else of that conversation, though, including other incriminating statements that the state has alleged Bent made.
It didn't go like that. That's not what I remember.
That's not what you remember?
No.
Okay.
But he still, like many others, is plagued by questions about the case.
I would hope that the truth comes out, no matter what. I want to know, you know what I mean? I would like some closure, for sure.
This is Stephanie Woodard reporting.
When we come back, it's time for another edition of Fairbanks Flavor. Tonight we feature how to cook roasted root vegetables. Also, in our weekly interior-tainment segment with Halloween around the corner, a local group is preparing to present their version of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Stay with us. Welcome back, and it's time again for another edition of Fairbanks Flavor with Lisa from Gambardella's Pasta Bella.
Hi, welcome to Fairbanks Flavor. I'm Lisa Gambardella, and today we're featuring some roasted root vegetables. I've got some beautiful beets here, organic, and also some rutabaga and some parsnip. So what we want to do is chop all our root vegetables about the same size so they'll cook around the same time. Make a nice big bowl of them. We're going to toss it with some olive oil. Wow, look at those beautiful colors, and watch after they cook, they just get even better. Salt and freshly grated pepper. Put it in a baking dish, bake it in the oven. They're going to need to bake for a while, and you're going to want to make a lot of them. Wow, these are gorgeous. You can use them as a side dish, you can use it as a main dish, and today we're going to add it to some delicious risotto. This is like a gardener's delight. I've got some green peas. Stir those in. And now our roasted root vegetables. Look at that color. This is one of those healthy dishes that while you're eating it, you already feel good about your body. This has been Fairbanks Flavor. See our recipes at webcenter11.com.
Brought to you by Gambardella's Pasta Bella.
The curtains are set to be lifted for a spooky and somewhat bizarre play at the stroke of midnight on Friday and Saturday. Mike Fussell has more in this week's That's Interior-tainment.
Halloween is right around the corner, and that means some local actors are getting ready to do the time warp again. Alaska Green Room is producing Rocky Horror Picture Show this year as the film marks its 40th anniversary. The cult rock musical follows a couple who finds themselves caught up in a bizarre party at a remote castle.
And it's a huge send-up of these old science fiction horror films from the 50s and 60s that has grown to a cult status.
The movie will be projected as actors bring those same scenes to life on stage.
You know, as a stage actor, you really thrive off of the energy that's provided from the audience. And getting the characters involved with the audience is where this show really shines.
The show is traditionally interactive as audience members are encouraged to project both their voices and some other items on stage at key points of the performance.
Participation bags will be available both here at the Westmark and at the Blue Loon for those who want to get involved. For the audience members that want to be part of the tradition, they can throw rice during the wedding scene and even propose a toast.
This year will be a little different though. An additional 21 and over night has been added at the Blue Loon, and the show's previous director is handing over the creative reins.
I've always directed the show in the past and then also done all the other parts, and so now having a director that runs the rehearsal and takes care of the actors helps me to worry about getting all the props together, worry about the marketing, worry about getting ready, everything that we need for the event to go off.
Director David Leslie says he tried to give this performance a little twist.
One of the things I've been trying to do to make it more interesting is play with the idea that we're a stage play of a movie. So we're making jokes to the fact that we're on stage when really everything else is happening in a movie universe. And that kind of meta humor is what I've been trying to bring to it.
Rocky kicks off at midnight this Friday at the Blue Loon, or at the same time Saturday at the Westmark. Reporting, I'm Mike Fussell.
That's Interior-tainment, brought to you by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
Well, it's just a jump to the left, I guess. All right, Joe Cook is up next with sports, and he has a preview of the Ice Dogs' upcoming series. There's also Nanook and high school sports, including wrestling and more. Stay with us.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your local Thursday sportscast. The Fairbanks Ice Dogs and they are in for another tough series at the Big Dipper on Halloween weekend. After a split with the Ashton Rebels last week, the Johnstown Tomahawks, another East Division team, comes to Fairbanks. The Tomahawks are 8-4-3, and they're led by Nick DeSimone, who is a top 5 goalie in save percentage and goals allowed average. Andrew Romano leads Johnstown with 16 points. The Ice Dogs expect the Tomahawks to slow the the game down and be physical, much like the Rebels, after a preview of a rugged NHL hockey series last weekend with those Ashland Rebels. The Ice Dogs are determined to play a better mental game to start another win streak and solidify themselves as one of the better teams in the league.
We got to be ready for it. They want to get into our heads and then hit a lot and be ready for it and just keep it out and play our game.
They're a much larger team than Aston, so they're going to be hitting bodies left and right. We got to respond to keep our cool, not lose our temper or anything. I mean, that could definitely hurt us if we go in there and they get the best of us and we're just taking penalties left and right.
You know, they're going to come in with the same mentality that they want to come into our atmosphere and steal 2 or 4 points from us, so we got to be prepared to match their physicality.
This weekend, the Alaska Nanniks get back in the pool for their second Pacific Collegiate Swim and Dive Conference dual meet of the year. Biola University comes into the Patty Center pool this Friday and Saturday. Now, last time these teams met, the Nanniks swept all 3 matchups back in 2014. Alaska split their first meet of the season against Azusa Pacific a couple of weekends ago. West Valley product Cassidy Heaton and Division I transfer Kate Matthews have made a splash. Matthews was CollegeSwimming.com's Division II Swimmer of the Week after their first meet. Heaton is already top 10 all-time in the program in the 1650 freestyle. The meet starts Friday night at 6 p.m. and day 2 starts at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. Today, the Nanack Rifle team found out they slipped a bit in the latest College Rifle Coaches Association poll. After being idle the last 2 weeks, Alaska drops from 2nd to 3rd in the polls. Defending national champion West Virginia and Murray State are tied for the top spot. That's the first tie in the poll for this year. TCU is behind UAF in the 4th spot. Then the Kentucky Wildcats, they make up the top 5. The UF Shooters will be back in the range for an away match against the Akron Zips next weekend. Also, the UAF men's basketball team will be in action for the first time this season. Tomorrow, they will have their annual Blue Gold game to start the 2015-2016 campaign. Head coach Mick Durham enters his 4th season at the helm of the program. He'll see how the new players and transfers mesh with 9 returners. The Blue Gold game starts at 6 p.m. on Alaska Airlines Court in the Patty Center. Wrestling has started in the interior, and one team is off to a very good start to the season. Now, Wednesday night, Lathrop and North Pole grappled on the mats at Joe T. Court for the Mid-Alaska Conference dual meet. The Patriots got off to a good start as Stu Rogers, he pins Justice Rodriguez in the 2nd round of their bout. In the 152-pound class, Ethan Shoemaker followed suit by pinning Zach Tolver in the 116-pound duel. Brandon Antisberger, he defeated Zach Kosa 11-4 by decision, but those were North Pole's lone wins. Lathrop won the meet 55-15. Jack Dickinson won his 195-pound match 5-0 against Brandon Antisberger. Dickinson, who was the state runner-up at the 182-pound level last year, believes his team, which won the Red Gold tourney last week, has a chance to improve on their 5th place finish at the state tournament last season.
We have a lot of ranked guys on our team that could possibly win state. We're hoping to win state as a team this year. It's gonna be tough. There's a lot of good schools down by Anchorage, but it's definitely a possibility to win state.
Really, this year, just trying to wrestle. You know, it's a pretty fun thing to do. Winning state would be nice again, but you got to take it one match at a time. It's hard to tell towards the end of the year what I want to be doing, but as of right now, you know, I just want to get better, get wrestling, and get back in shape, get some good abs. You know.
The high school home stretch this week. Last night, the Hutchinson Hawks earned their 2nd conference win of the year with a 5-set victory over the visiting Allison Ravens on senior night. Alexa Rathbun had 15 kills, 5 blocks for Hutch in the win. North Pole, they sweep the match and the season series against Lathrop on Wednesday night. The Patriots win 25-16, 25-22 with McKinley Putnam swinging for a game-high 13 kills for the Patriots. And 2 games into the 2015 World Series, and the Kansas City Royals are 2 games away from winning it all. Game 2 Wednesday night in Kansas City. Johnny Cueto, he was on one. He baffled the Mets batters as he tossed a 2-hitter. On the other side, New York's Jacob deGrom got roughed up in the 5th inning. Eric Hosmer, he rips a 2-run single for the go-ahead runs as the game was tied 1-1. That hit resulted in 6 unanswered runs. As Cueto, he continued to deal. Cueto threw 4 Ks on his way to a complete game victory. The Royals cruise to a 7-1 win and take a 2-0 series lead to New York. The series continues with Game 3 tomorrow night at Citi Field. And that's it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz lets us know how much more snow we can expect coming up next in weather. And as always, we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our Thursday night edition of Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. Time to talk about the weather. We told you last night the snow was coming, and lo and behold, it materialized. We're looking at maybe another inch falling tonight. That's about it. And then colder temperatures moving in. We'll tell you all about it in just a little bit. Our photograph night before the snow fell, Kim Medlin was able to get a moon shot, a very nice shot of the moon reflecting off of this water, not too far away from where she lived, and send that to us. And as always, if you have a photograph that you'd like to show or share with the audience, show it or send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Your numbers today: the high only 28 degrees, the low last night 28 degrees, the record high 46 in 2002. The record low, I should say, 25 below in 1975, the record high 46. And our sunrise and sunset works out to 8 hours, 11 minutes of daylight, a loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. On our satellite and radar, you can see a little bit of a circulation moving across the Gulf of Alaska, helping to bring showers across the Prince William Sound and Anchorage Bowl. And then, of course, we have our showers also associated with this area, this frontal boundary here. A little bit closer look, here's zooming in with the radar, and you can see we're still got a lot to go through us until we get out of the snow shower situation, but it looks like for the most part a lot of it's starting to drift down to the south, but still some pockets here and there, so we're going to keep an eye on that. What else is going on across the rest of the state? Well, it looks like it's raining once again over southeast Alaska. Juneau and Ketchikan, 52 degrees at Ketchikan today. And of course the rain is falling around the Anchorage Bowl where it's 44 degrees. A few showers at Kodiak, 48. Cold Bay, a little cooler, 38, cloudy skies. Up and down the west coast, looking at temperatures ranging from 31 at Bethel to 28 at Nome. Then crossing the Brooks Range there into the North Slope, 5 degrees at Barrow today. And Fort Yukon, 19 with cloudy skies. Lower 48 weather, we're looking at 58 degrees, or 59 at Seattle with a little shower activity. Up and down the west coast, temperatures very comfortable in the 70s, right on into Las Vegas, 81 degrees at Phoenix. Showers returning once again to Texas, something they don't need there. Quite a bit of rainfall, and Minneapolis looking at 49. Over the eastern half of the country, warming up again across the deep south, as you would expect this time of year, 89 degrees in Miami. But then around the 70s for New York and Washington, D.C., and only 47 degrees in Chicago. On the satellite radar, you can see this area of low pressure moving across the Great Lakes and the swirling there, helping to bring cooler temperatures in from Canada, while more showers and thunderstorms start to work their way in across Texas once again, and over the Pacific Northwest, some showers across the Seattle area. And the jet stream is taking a big dive down to the south, helping to make the opportunity for more thunderstorm and rain activity across Texas starting tomorrow and into the weekend across the Great Lakes also. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. And all this week we've been talking with the kids from Hunter Elementary School. Last week I was talking to one of the young ladies, and she had a question about the snow we got. So let's see what that question is.
Hello, my name's Sierra, and I'm Michelle Nick's 4th and 5th grade class. And here's my question for the weatherman. Will there be snow on the ground before Halloween?
Well, Sierra, if you wanted snow, you got your wish. We got snow out there now, and ice too, so it's making it kind of nasty. Looking at colder temperatures in this weekend, so when you go out trick-or-treating Saturday night, make sure you wrap up nice and warm. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And tomorrow night, the teacher and the kids will be here with a special weather fact and a Halloween message. You won't want to miss that. Here's your forecast for Alaska. For the northern sections, mostly cloudy, isolated snow in Barrow, increasing clouds in Nome, and scattered snow showers in Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, a mixed bag once again. Steady snow at Healy, otherwise snow showers for Fairbanks and Delta Junction. The rains will continue over southeast Alaska in the form of showers, 51 degrees at Ketchikan. Over the southwest part of the state, looking at rain showers at Cold Bay, rain and snow for Bethel and Kodiak. And over the south central regions, if you're heading on down to the Anchorage Bowl, rain and snow at Anchorage and Valdez, and light snow for Homer. And it's a Thursday night, which means it's time for our road conditions. And these are brought to you by the good folks at Mongold Insurance and Jose Body and Paint. On the Dalton Elliott Highway, icy patches, snow on roadways, and reduced visibility. Keep that in mind. Over the East Highway, I should say, and Richardson, looking at light snow and icy patches and ice on bridges. And over the Parks Highway, slippery roads, light snow, and snow on the road. So it's just kind of really dangerous out there. Keep that in mind. Give yourself plenty of time to get to your destination. Here's our forecast for tonight. Periods of light snow. Another inch is possible. 19 degrees for the overnight low. There comes the cold air. Tomorrow's high, only 27 degrees. Cloudy skies with scattered snow showers. And the 5-day outlook, as you can see on Halloween, we're looking at 21 for the high during the day, 8 for the overnight low. And temperatures will slowly moderate after that, a little bit warmer and a little better chance of seeing some more snow for the first part of next week through the middle part of next week. But cold temperatures, Joe, I know you don't like that. Not real happy with that.
No, not really, but I like the snow. I'll take that.
Thank you, guys. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, with his election as the new Speaker of the House, can Paul Ryan lead Congress out of dysfunction? That's up next with Lester Holt.
Be sure and join Mike Fussell tomorrow morning, the latest news updates and bus schedules during the Today Show.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night and a reminder to drive safe out there.